Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it's another Monday, it's another in-depth collection video, and yet we're finally just getting out of the E's into the F's. So I know this is a long series, and in fact we're T is going to be horrendous because it's the. So I have probably like 3 bookcases full of just the films in it. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying this series, and let's get into it. So we finished up on Extract last time, so we carry on at the end of the E's. So we have Extraordinary Measures with Brendan Fraser and Harrison Ford. This was quite a good film, quite a heart-wrenching film of a dad who basically needs I believe, some sort of transplant for his child, and has to go above and beyond due to a lot of issues that he has. I really liked this. Then we have Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close. Obviously, the label is still on it, so I've not seen this. I know this is rated quite a good movie. Then Eyes Wide Shut, another movie I've never seen with Nicole Kidman and that. So I can't really comment yet. I say it's just one to watch. Face Off, Nicolas Cage. I love this movie. I think it's really, really good. I know a lot of people aren't into this sort of film action from the 90s. Failure to Launch, Matthew McConaughey, kind of when he was still in his kind of chick flick phase. It was an alright with Jessica Parker. It's an alright movie. It's not the greatest. Fallen, I know. AJ's Movie Place has got this recently. I really, really love this movie. You can see how worn it is, how often I've watched this. But yeah, it is basically about kind of a serial killer who can move his consciousness between people, and like that gimmick and how it is portrayed in this movie is actually really, really good. Falling Down, Michael Douglas. I only watched this about probably 5-6 years ago. Actually really, really good. Obviously I do feel it lives up to the hype that it is. Yeah, definitely you wouldn't annoy this person, when he's having a bad day. Then we get to Falling Skies. So this is a sci-fi series starring Noel Wai from ER, which was just up there, conveniently enough. Basically about an alien invasion and how the humans try to fight against it. They use these harnesses to basically capture people and control them. And I thought this was really, really good. It had a few weak points. I think the studio did screw with them a little bit near the end of running out of funding and stuff. See, here's season 3, season 4. And then finally season 5, the final one. So glad it got a proper ending and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of Noel Wise anyway, so I did really like it. Then we have Fame, the original. I bought it to watch, but I just haven't got round to watching it yet. Then we go into the Family Guy. So everybody loves a bit of Family Guy. I'm currently rewatching all of this on Disney Plus with the wife. So we have season 1, 2... and then the massive season 3, and 4, 5. See, look how 6, and obviously look, 13 episodes. It's like, God, you could have fit this in the tiny little case. 7, 8. I think it's 8. Yeah, 8. 9, then they start getting smaller, so it's 10. We did a party. I thought this was a really good turning point. I think this is around about the time they got cancelled the second time, possibly. 11. Missing 12, but got 13 with obviously a cover. And obviously 200 episodes at this point. 14. Obviously, unfortunately, the passing of Brian. And the introduction of Vinny for a few episodes. 16. Obviously missing season 15. And then obviously we've got the kind of first movie, The Untold Story of Stewie. And then we've got all the Star Wars specials, which I've seen multiple times. I've seen them on TV, but just don't I haven't seen that first one take the stickers off, so I'll have to rewatch that at some point. Then we have the Family Jewels. This is a cheap one I got. I've never watched it, so I can't really comment. I'm sure it'll be a bit silly. Then we have Fanboys. I believe this is loosely based on a true story about a fan. I think has a unfortunately incurable disease, and he wants to see the new Star Wars before it's out and tries to break into Lucasfilms. Then we have Fantastic Beasts. I know these are the prequels to Harry Potter, but I kind of keep them alone. So that was the first one. Me and my wife really liked that. Unfortunately, the second one didn't really live up to the hype from the first. We have watched the third one. We did quite like the third one. Simon Pegg, Fantastic Fear, Everything of Everything. It looks a quite out there movie. The stickers are on it, so I'm not, and you see it's faded, so I've had it quite a fair while. Then we have the original Fantastic, or not the original, but the first released Fantastic Four. I didn't mind this. Yeah, the Silver Surfer, I like the idea. I felt it was missing a lot from the second one. Obviously, special edition, quite heavy. Then we have, obviously, the rebooted one. Again, there were aspects of this I didn't mind. They just, I don't know, is it with having Doctor Doom as the bad guy and how they portray it just never seems to work out. Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is my wife's. Never seen it, so I can't comment on it. Then we move down. So Fargo, what was the movie that was based on TV series? I actually really like this. It's one of the Coen Brothers films that I actually really like. I think it's really good. Faster. So The Rock, I believe, gets out of prison and then goes to sort a debt or something he has to pay, if memory serves me right, or someone's after him. Father's Day, obviously Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. Watched this as a kid, loved this movie. Haven't revisited it in a while, so it's definitely one, but obviously these two do feature in Friends, so I think that was done near the same time as recording. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, a very trippy, all about drugs and stuff. Really liked it back in the day. I've not seen it for a long time. I just remember the trip of dinosaurs dancing, I believe. Jet Li's Fearless. Love Jet Li, one of my favourite martial artists. And this was an alright movie, if memory serves me right. The martial arts are quite good in it, which it always is. Fernando, me watched this with my wife and the mother-in-law a fair few years ago. I did really like it. I think John Cena plays the voice, if memory serves me right. But yeah, I did think it was quite good. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I only watched this probably, again, about 5-6 years ago when I started to get back big time into movies. I am not the biggest fan of this movie. I watched it. I didn't get it, if so to speak. Yeah, just not for me. But I have it in there because I really watch it. And Field of Dreams, love this. As I think I stated to someone, this is a film that has one of the most misquotes ever. So if you're watching this video, put in the comments down below what you believe that quote is, or the quote is related to that film. So pause the movie and then put it, and then afterwards, and I'll tell you, you probably put build it and they will come, and it is actually build it and he will come. That is the quote that is, I've seen so many times that has been misquoted. Fierce Creatures, so obviously from the same team that was A Fish Called Wanda. They're obviously starring a zoo. It's a little bit silly, not as good as A Fish Called Wanda, but still quite funny in places. Good old John Cleese. Fight Club, so this is the special edition that Matsui Movies got me. Obviously I've started to kind of draw a Brad Pitt kind of esque on it. I just to cover up the little gap, but I never really got around to finish it, but I will do. Do love this movie. Never read the book. Fighting, have never seen this movie, so can't count. But I do like the two actors, so I'll have to go back to that. Fighting with My Family, obviously this is a story of Paige, who was in WWE and her rise to fame. I thought this was quite good. Was a bit of a nostalgia trip for me because I've not been into wrestling for a long time, and I did quite enjoy it going back, and it was an interesting enough story. Well done. Then we have Final Destination 1. I think everybody who was my age loved this movie when it comes up. Not that you want to watch it when you get on a plane. Then 2, loved obviously the massive car crash near the end. Done really well. I think that sticks in a lot of people's brains. And then I only got the Final Destination, so I haven't got any of the others in between. Not sure why. I think this is the one with the jet engine goes through someone's head. Then we have Finding Neverland. The main reason I have this is because of the young lad. It doesn't seem to have him on it, so I believe this Finding Neverland. Obviously, this is the rough story of Peter Pan and how it kind of comes about. And the lad is played by the lad who's in The Good Doctor. I can't remember his name. Fire City, this is one I picked up a few months ago from someone on Facebook. It's a little weird one. It has the feel of a TV movie, but I think it just loses it in places. It just is a little all over the shop, and the special effects in that are really good, and the makeup and that. But yeah, I think it just lacked in other areas. Good old fight, Joss Whedon's Firefly, love this series. Big fan of Nathan Fillion. So who can not love that? And Serenity, obviously the movie to that. Again, I love this. It's a shame we didn't get longer, but I think what was released was good enough for the fans. Fire Trap, obviously I do like Dean Cain, so this is a very cheesy kind of action movie. I can't remember it. I think I've watched it, but I could be wrong. Then we have Harrison Ford in Firewall. Obviously kind of computer programming gone wrong, I think. First Night, good old King Arthur, Richard Gere, Sean Connery, and all the story of Lancelot and King Arthur and the kind of the betrayal of Lancelot in love with Guinevere. Flash forwards, I've been meaning to watch this for ages, but as it's only one series and it was left open, I've not got round to it. The classic Flash Gordon, who cannot love this movie? Gordon is alive. Well, then we have the original Flatliners. I watched this after I'd watched the original, not the original, sorry, the remake, and I did really like this. I did thought this was done quite well. Fled, a very old kind of Criminals on the Run. Thought it was all right, ticked all the boxes. Then we have Flashdance, Footloose, and Pretty in Pink, a kind of 80s montage movies of what's his name? The bloke who did Home Alone. I think he has impacts in most of these. Flight, I've not got round to watching as of yet. Flight 93, I have watched. Obviously, this is about one of the planes for 9/11 and how basically they, if you know anything, this is the one unfortunately crashed near the Pentagon, and this is about kind of the story of the people on the flight and how they kind of reacted and managed to save a lot more people from dying, but unfortunately everyone did die on this plane. Flight of the Navigator, classic from the 80s with the little aliens and a bit of time travel in there. Flight of the Phoenix, I think this is a remake. I really actually did like this one, kind of plane stuck in the desert and people trying to get out. Then we go on Flight Plan. Obviously Jodie Foster gets on a plane with her daughter, wakes up and she's gone and thinks it's all in her head. Flipper, never seen, but I do like Paul Hogan, Elijah Wood. It's one to revisit. Flubber, watched this recently, really do love this movie. You know, does make you think of Robin Williams and how much he is missed. Flushed Away, it was okay as animations go, not their best, but hey ho. Focus, Will Smith and Margot Robbie. I did like this kind of gangster heist with a few people trying to stab each other in the back and that. Did think it worked really well. I did quite like the story. Fool's Gold, Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson. I thought this was an alright movie, kind of a treasure hunt in one. I think this is near the end of his kind of chick flick phase, and I'm glad he came into his own. Then we had the remake of Footloose. I know it possibly should go there, should go with the other Footloose, but it's here because that's where it stands. Haven't seen this one, seen the original, so one to watch. Forces of Nature, who doesn't love a 90s Sandra Bullock movie? Good old Ben Affleck. I'd say it's a good story, a very different ending than what you expect. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, obviously from the producers Knocked Up and Out. I thought this was alright as films go. Maybe I wouldn't say it's the must-see comedy of the year, but I thought it was alright. Russell Brand and that. Good old Michael J. Fox in For Love or Money. This actually has a different name, I believe, in America, and that. But I did really like this movie. It's basically he works as a concierge in a hotel and basically wants to get his own one, and there's a few things that go on. Classic Tom Hanks, who cannot love Run Forrest Run. And a bit of Christopher Lambert in Fortress. Like this movie back in the day. Been a long time since I've seen it. Four Brothers. I did watch this. I think my dad's copy of it, but this is my one, so I've not rewatched. That's why the stickers are on it. But I thought it was an okay movie. Four Christmases. Obviously the comedy where they have to meet all their parents and in-laws and stuff, and they go to 4 different weddings. Kind of reminds me of the Vicar of Dibley a little bit, but just about the Brussels sprouts, and maybe not as funny. One of my wife's favourite movies, Four Weddings and Funeral. We love a bit of Hugh Grant, classic Hugh Grant. We actually watched this recently and realised how much Andie MacDowell's character we actually really, really hate her. She is not a nice person at all. But it's funny how you never picked that up at the time. And then the final one for this video is the first series of Frankly the Bash. My friend kind of got me to gut this. We watched the first series together, really good. Unfortunately, I've never seen any of the other series to bite to carry on. And there we go. So that was the in-depth collection video for today. Hope you're enjoying it. We've got another one next week, and then in 2 weeks' time, I plan to have a Actor Factor video with Nicolas Cage. I will probably be away at that time, so that's why I'm under pre-plan in advance. But I hope you enjoyed the videos. Like, comment, subscribe. Is there anything in the video you think I should watch that I haven't seen? Please do let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I've been Cypher Sigma, and I'll see you next.